All right, man. This is Let's Just Talk Fitness. Your boy Trey, man. You're here again. This is a late interview, man, but we still got to get it in because this person right here that I'm bringing on right now, when I tell you that, they in some sense, they're a printing machine of gifts. You get what I'm saying? Like when you talk about printing money and things of that nature to where it just doesn't run out. This person right here, man, got gifts galore. And I'm telling you, I don't think it ever runs out, nor will it ever will. So with that said, man, first what I want to do is tell y'all to like, share the video, subscribe to my channel, man. If you have not, and if you enjoy the content, and if you enjoy what I'll be putting out, please subscribe and comment below and let me know what you think about this video. Also, subscribe to my email list. The link is in the description below. I give out free reports weekly. I also just give out content, free content, health content relating to things that will help you level up your fitness, as well as promotions. I do affiliate marketing promotions, things of that nature, as well as stories. I tell personal, deep stories about your boy. So if you want to know more about me, subscribe, as well as hit me up for any coaching or life coaching or training, gym training or fitness training that you may want as well. My first week is completely free. But with all that said, I want to introduce Yvonne. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to sit down and talk with you. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for, allowing me to take this time. Again, it's kind of late. I mean, it's just now hitting 11, actually, 11 p.m. But she made time, y'all. She made time. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. And again, you are a woman of your word. You told me that you wanted to do this. It was a spur of the moment, but we here now. So with that
No
said,
problem. No problem.
absolutely, absolutely. So with that said, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up? Where you from? Yeah, a little bit about you.
Well, I'm originally from Michigan. I'm actually born and raised in Ann Arbor. Most people know Ann Arbor due to University of Michigan. And I grew up in a city called Ypsilanti. So a lot of people can't pronounce the name, so we usually, call it Ipsy for short. I am the oldest out of 6 brothers and sisters. I have 4 children, ages 18, 9, 5, and 3. And that's just the basics of, of my life thus far. Just me, you know what I'm saying, coming from Michigan, you know what I'm saying, being the oldest. So I've always had some responsibilities, and I'm a single mother of 4.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. I love that. And would you say that, with this huge family, you seem like you have a very dense family. Would you say that with your family, there's this aspect of being family oriented? Would you call yourself very family oriented and someone that's very?
Very huge. I'm very family oriented. On both sides of my family, my mother and my dad, we do have, large families. And I actually was lucky and blessed enough to be raised by, elders, more elders compared to what most people nowadays actually get experience of. I'm not, old like that. I'm 37. So, but it's still a difference. And I think me actually being raised around older people, it instilled a lot of, morals and standards that a lot of people either struggle to keep nowadays or don't even have no acknowledgement of it. So, but I do call myself very family oriented.
I love that. I love that. How would you say being raised by elders affected you mentally in terms of the comparison of other people, perhaps your age or younger or older?
Well, it definitely kept us in the thought process of holding manners, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
respecting people, and showing people, value and worth, immediately. And I think with growing up with elders, it gave us a sense of history. It was close to us. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe they didn't always sit us down and discuss like deep things like most people nowadays do, but you were able to experience or at least discuss things that they struggle with, which is like things that we still see today, which is racism, Jim Crow or civil rights, movements and times like that when he dealt with riots. And a lot of them, came from the South. Most of my family was from Mississippi and Tennessee.
Yeah.
So they were able to kind of just share experiences of why they came up north and the opportunities that the north actually gave. I think deep down inside, I kind of want to move down south and get that experience. I think I have more of a southern feel to my life,
Yeah.
but maybe in the future I'll be able to experience that. Maybe I can go back to my roots.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you are up north, but you're saying that a lot of your family members were down south, and I guess they migrated up north.
Yeah. Well, Midwest, definitely. That's where Michigan is known to be at, in the Midwest
Mm.
region. But yeah, most of them came from Mississippi and
Wow.
Tennessee. Yeah.
Wow, that's exactly the same with my family. So, that we may have some blood relation somewhere
You
down
never
the
know.
line. I never know. You
I'm pretty
never
sure there's a
know.
lot of people walking around cousins, and they probably could be next door neighbors. You never know.
Hey, it's crazy because I actually recently had a situation. We actually in our family where there was two cousins that didn't know each other, but I think were they our cousin? Yeah, I believe they were our cousin, or they related to us. They did not know they were related
Oh
until
wow.
like the wife, I think, showed the husband their grandfather when he was like, hold on, that's my grandfather. Like, so
Oh
can
wow.
you imagine?
That actually happened well, it didn't happen to me like that. I'd actually
Yeah.
met a cousin where I was working at Walmart at the time,
Wow.
and this girl was kind of just sharing and just talking about our family, and then her parents had walked up and I had recognized them. I'm like, that's my dad's cousin. And they were like,
Oh,
wait, my dad? And I was like, my dad is such and such. And they was like,
oh,
yo, we cousins.
that's
So I mean, sometimes that
crazy.
happens.
It does. It does. It
Yeah.
does. And I mean, again, like you said, it's a small world. So, but that's what makes it so beautiful about meeting new people.
Right.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
could be your exact family. Now, I gotta ask though, because I see that that influence, the Southern influence in the art behind you. I gotta ask about the art. I gotta go into it a little bit. I know we dealing with fitness. I know it's a fitness channel I have, but it also I also love to highlight other gifts that
Okay.
you have. So
Okay.
I have to ask about the painting. If you could grab one of those and just hold it up in front of the camera for us to just see, because I know we would be a bit curious.
Well, I guess I can just go ahead and just grab this one since it's
Okay,
like the closest one to me. But
okay. Tell us about
this,
it.
this I had did this, I think around last year, close around Black History Month. And
Mm,
it's called Cotton Always Reminds Us. So it's kind of like it's a painting of where this girl is kind of kneeling down and she got these scissors, and
yeah.
maybe the light is kind of messing it up, the reflection or
No,
whatnot.
we can
But
see it. We can see it. Yeah.
okay, cool. So she got scissors in her hand. She's in front of Cotton, and she got this little mug on her face, and she's
Mm,
thinking about just going ahead and just chopping up all the cotton. And I have like a little like quote or a little poem right here that says, sometimes I beef out with my t-shirts, towels, and sheets, thanks to the history with you. And so I kind of drew this out to just kind of reflect on how, we sit up here and we wear cotton every single day. Like every single day we use it for sleeping and just about everything that we use for clockwise. But we
yeah.
don't, a lot of people just kind of just ignore the history of it. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know what I'm saying, worked for this cotton for
Yeah.
years, taking it, using blood, sweat, and tears,
Yeah.
losing their lives off of this. And a lot of it has to do with people with us. So, I mean, it's like a bittersweet moment sometimes when we actually have to deal with everyday things, because us as a people actually, help bring those items to flourish. You know what I'm saying? We actually sat up here and built this country off of our backs. And, like I said, it can sometimes really be a bittersweet moment when you think about these things sometimes. And I sometimes, I have moments where I paint really good and positive,
Mm,
visions and visuals, but then sometimes not so much that it's dark, but it's a way of expressing, things deep down inside that we don't always talk about, or where we're not always comfortable to talk about, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's also why I do art. It's a way of therapy,
yeah.
not only just working out, but it's a way of therapy. Singing is a way of therapy.
Mm,
Playing instruments is a way of therapy.
mm.
Writing is a way of therapy. So,
And
I'm just glad
y'all.
I have I'm just glad I have these certain gifts, you know what I'm saying? Because it just helps regulate my mind.
Mm,
And then it just helps me to see, what's in my head.
Yeah.
You really get amazed at what can come out of what you think on paper or with words or a song or anything like that.
Facts.
So yeah,
And she can blow. She probably skimmed past singing, but she can blow. Yeah, I think I would honestly say she's probably better than Beyonce.
that's a lie.
I'm just being completely honest with you. But hey, you can
Thank you, though.
we could go back and forth in regards to it. But I mean, I honestly do truly believe that you are so talented and gifted. And I had to go back to the paintings because it just shows. It shows forth. I think a person's room, the area you're most comfortable with, speaks the most about you, can tell the most about you. So I had to highlight one of those to at least, get an idea of how you are and the way you think and how that influences your lifestyle. All right. So, but back to fitness,
Okay,
and
cool.
back to that aspect. Before we go a little bit deeper, what do you do? What is something that you do? What's your occupation? Do you work? Are you in school? What are some things that you do?
Well, right now I'm enrolled in school. So I have like a few more classes to take, and that's in psychology, and my minor is also in social work
Okay.
at Eastern Michigan University. I'm completing it there for my bachelor's. And what I want to do with that degree is eventually open up a mentoring organization, nonprofit group for young girls.
Mm,
I feel like at least I can speak for me. When I was growing up, we talked about family or being family oriented and
yeah.
having people around and having big families. But I don't think families, and especially since I can only speak for Black communities, because I don't know about everybody else, but I can at least speak for mine and then what I'm used to seeing or what I've grown up to hear other people say. At least for my experience, I grew up being taught not to be ashamed of who I was Black, but I wasn't taught how to value and uphold self-worth. And I think that got lost in when those who take care of you go through everyday living. And there were things that were happening during my early teenage years and going into my early 20s where I didn't get that attentiveness that I actually needed.
Right.
I didn't get people that were honest and real with me, you know what I'm saying, that actually weren't ashamed to share what they used to go through, to where I can kind of get a visual and understanding of what I'm actually experiencing. Because sometimes people and adults, they treat teenagers like they're supposed to know what's going on. And we really don't. You know what I'm saying? Every milestone is new to you. Every age or, every 10 years, it's a new experience.
Right.
So I want to open up eventually a mentoring organization for girls where they can come in and they can get those things that are missing at home.
Wow.
Where they can get women that can coach them on how to be young ladies or how to pick themselves up after making a mistake or two, to show themselves how they are valued and how much they're worth, and just to be around people that genuinely care. And I think that's all our youth actually really want. And every youth that has passed in generations, we just want to just feel like we care. And I think I missed that. And what I had, and I actually struggled with that throughout my adult years. And that's actually what got me to the point of where I was actually going into fitness, because I almost lost myself.
Yeah.
So I had fell in depression in 2018, and I had to figure something. I had to actually be, even though I've always been active, I played basketball. I've always been in fitness, but I think this time from 2018 and now is the hardest that I've actually gone into my fitness. So of course, as you see, I'm a student.
Yeah.
And I'm actually trying to find employment right now, but it's not really that important because I actually do have an LLC, and that's for my art services. So, jobs are great, but I think the goal nowadays is to have your own business or to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's actually, that's where people are going to actually go into. I think education will always be there. I think trade jobs will always be there.
Yeah.
But as of like these jobs where you're there for like 20, 30, 40 plus years, that's over with. Like that's just done. Because first of all, these companies don't know how to treat people no more.
I was just gonna ask you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they don't. And the reason why I'm not working is because I actually got a job earlier this year, and trained for it. was getting good coaching. I was getting good numbers, got
Right.
promoted, got a raise. And then the week that I trained for the position, I found out that the job was seasonal,
Mm.
and it was most likely letting us go
Yeah.
if they didn't give us a new project. And then when they gave us a new project, thankfully, I'm thinking it's a good thing, I found out that they had demoted me and took my raise.
Mm.
And I was starting a new position way lower than what I had started.
Mm.
I can't do that with me raising 4 kids on my
Yeah.
own. And then 2 of my kids are special needs too. So it's that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna cut it.
Right.
So my goal is honestly is to finish school, open up that organization, and then also get this art services business up and running, like for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? I've started it. I opened it in last year. I've been selling paintings since like 2018, but I launched also my website just like last
Oh
week
yeah.
or so.
Absolutely.
So it's things is up and running slowly but surely, and I have faith that things is actually gonna move for me.
I love that. I love that. I love how you transitioned from the aspect of being in a dark place. You said I was in 2018 when you kind of started that healing process, but being in this dark place before that and kind of having this transition or this revelation of using fitness as an outlet. But then it seems that you seem to also have had a revelation in terms of a 9 to 5 into a more entrepreneurial business minded. So you seem to have leveled up, and not just physically or fitness, but mentally. You seem to
Yeah,
have went through a process. Yeah.
yeah, and that and being on my butt to sit down and reevaluate myself
Mm.
and regroup and try to pick myself together, pick myself up and get myself together. COVID also
Mm.
allowed me to sit down on my butt. And I know people think that COVID was a bad thing, like we lost a lot of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
things have changed,
Yeah.
things are not running as smooth and normal as we
Right.
would like it to be now. But if you didn't take the opportunity to sit down,
Mm.
either to heal, to either regroup, to either think over some things, plan stuff out, learn something new, then you just wasted that whole time. You just wasted 2 years basically, because we still in the pandemic,
Mm.
honestly, but you just wasted all that time.
Mm.
Or even if you took it, even if, okay, I know like probably with the stimulus money,
Oh yeah.
most people was trying to take care of their business. And if you had to pay bills, then thank God you had money to pay your bills. But if you were good and you didn't use that money to invest in stuff or to
Mm.
get land or to
Mm.
save up, you know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
couldn't really do that. But if you were in a position to do that and you didn't do that,
Mm.
you losing the big picture here.
Mm.
Like I said, God sat us down for like 2
2
years
years.
to think things over, to heal things, to mend things, or to let go of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you have not improved even a little bit, I feel like you just wasted that time. You just wasted that.
Wow.
And I wasn't about to waste that time.
Right.
I wasted
Exactly.
enough time.
That wastes enough time. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
How did you what would you say was the main thing that helped you come to this realization? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people wasted time. You're right. So many people wasted time, but what would you say, was the turning point for you? The sense of changing your mind, a sense of being penitent on what it is you have done or what it is you went through, and then going forth with the pandemic and just with the healing process since 2018. What was the turning point for you? What was the moment where you just, or was there a moment? Maybe there wasn't, but was there a moment where you
No, there was definitely a moment. You always have to have those moments, the wake up
Mm.
calls for you to sit up here. It can't just be that you have a good mind. It can't be that you have a heart. It's not even all the time that you have a relationship with God, because you can sit up here and have a relationship with God and he can still be talking to you and you can just be ignoring. But it has to be something that wake you up.
Mm.
And what woke me up was bad relationships. You know what I'm saying? I was in a long 8-year relationship that gave me some lessons and got me to the point where I actually truly lost myself, almost like completely.
Mm.
And I've never been to that point. Never ever been to that point. And I know most of us women, that's our story, you know, someone broke our heart, or, you know, someone did this and that, but it's something that happens constantly. And eventually, hopefully I would like for it to decrease one of these days, because I have at least one daughter out of all my kids, and I wouldn't want her, or not even my sons, to treat anybody knowing what I've experienced.
Right.
So for one, I saw that I was at my lowest. You know what I'm saying? For two, I saw that my children were affected.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just me, but my children.
Mm-hmm.
And then three, nothing was going good for me. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how hard I was working. I don't care how much I was saving. I don't care how much I was pulling back and budgeting and things like that.
Yeah.
Or disciplining my kids,
Right.
or being there more for my kids. Nothing was going right. So with seeing that, and seeing that I was at my lowest, I actually went to therapy. And I've been to therapy before. Prior to this, I've been to therapy at least 2 times before this, but this was serious. You know what I'm saying? And I actually got diagnosed with depression. Not nothing that was too major where I had to take medication or where I had to be on watch or anything like that. But it was on paper, where you have your little first meeting, you do your little questions, she sit down, kind of observe with you, and then to read that she's saying you're depressed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That is what made me be like, okay, like, you can't be no mama and be depressed. You can't sit up here and finish your degree and be depressed. You're not gonna be able to live and be depressed. You know what I'm saying? So either you're gonna stay in this position, which I've seen people depressed prior to me actually falling into it, or you're gonna sit up here and pick yourself back up and get yourself together. And that was the thing that I had chose. I know I still had not only myself to live for, but I have children to live for. And if I'm already struggling to where I'm not getting the support that I fully need, then who's going to be for these kids if something happened to me? You get what I'm saying? Ain't no one. I already know, even though I have all the family in the world, I already know that if something happened to me, these kids would not be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I had to pick myself up. And it took therapy. It took my faith. It took me getting rid of old habits. It took me letting go of someone that I was with for 8 years and started investing time and money and everything with this person. And it just took me wanting to live. And then when I started doing it, I just started seeing things that I haven't seen in a long time since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I started discovering things about myself that I didn't even know.
Wow.
And it was great. And it felt good to know and to rediscover these things about myself. So, I mean, when you start seeing these things for yourself, it doesn't do anything but make you want to continue. It's the same thing as if you're working out and you start seeing results.
Yeah.
You want to continue. It's a push. You know what I'm saying? If you came this far to do it, then what's going to happen within the next year or two? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my whole take on it. And I'm still in the healing process, but I'm definitely way better than what I used to be. I see the changes, and I'm just thankful, and I'm honored, and I show so much gratitude each day.
Wow. Do you feel like this healing process will ever end? You know, do you feel like everyone has a healing process, or everyone is always healing throughout life? Or do you feel like
I think everyone is always healing, to me, just like you always learning. It's life, you know what I'm saying? I don't think nothing stops until you close your eyes and it's your final rest. You know what I'm saying? It's always something to learn. And how I say that is take for example, people that was born like in the 30s or something, like my grandfather.
Yeah.
They don't always get what's going on right now.
Right.
But if you have an open mind, which most of them don't,
right,
you're going to still grow of age and still be able to learn something. They may not agree to or may not understand, but me sitting down with my grandfather and explaining some things as into why, like if you ask me, well, why can't you just get a job and just stay there?
Right.
Well, this is why. Not saying that I don't want to,
Right.
but da, 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 da. And then they'll be like, well, I just don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Things used to be just, you work hard, you have a dream, and da, 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 da. That American dream is over with. That's about to be buried, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say, but I'm just
Exactly.
saying, like, that is not there anymore.
Yeah.
And that is a way of how you're still learning. Just like if you were raised racist, you got
True.
a lot of people that still are
True.
kind of racist and
True.
still thought, still had a thought process to
Mhm.
where someone is either not worthy or they're better than someone. And
Yeah.
that's due to how they was taught and due to what they were used to. Because there's people still living when we couldn't be all mushed up together. So
Yeah.
they're still learning, like, this is what's not supposed to happen. That now that mind thought process might change or it might stay the same, but you're still learning. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna accept the lesson or you're not gonna accept the lesson. But
Exactly.
I feel like as a newborn or until you old, wrinkled and gray,
Yeah.
God is always gonna give you opportunity to learn and an opportunity to heal too. Yeah.
Man, I love that. Wow. Going into fitness or your fitness journey, we see that you're on it and that you're still in the process of healing. You're still on your fitness journey, as again, I believe is also a lifestyle, something that will be constantly improving until the day you leave this earth in terms of your fitness. But with fitness in your fitness journey, how much of it would you say has helped, physically working out, physically being fit? How much of that has helped you mentally, has helped you to stay mentally
Everything, every day, every
every
second.
day?
And I say this because
Yeah.
some mothers don't have outlets. Like I said, I have all this family, but I don't have all the support all the time. And not because it's not always because family don't want to, even though I have some of that. But we have to think of a day where everybody got loads of responsibility. Even I know people that don't have kids, and it's like they got kids, but everyone has just a ton of responsibility compared to the earlier years, at least when I was growing up and seeing it, at least from what I could remember. And so with me not really having an outlet, that means my kids are always with me. I mean, 9 out of 10, my daughter comes with me to my classes, which is also inspirational because I
Yeah.
at least want her to see, like, hey, this is what you can do for working out. This is what you can do to keep your mind regulated.
You say your classes, your boxing classes?
Yeah, my boxing
Boxing
classes.
class. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I work out at home. I follow some channels that I've been following for the past two years or so.
Wow.
But I go to boxing. I've been doing boxing for about a little over a year now, which I've always loved boxing, but I really didn't get into it. But I can only imagine, like, if fitness was how it was when I was growing up. I mean, I can only imagine, like, it would be a lot of fit and healthy people around if fitness was as big as it is now. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Yeah. But I feel like mentally it's definitely kept me. It's kept my mind regulated. I've been able to have moments where I can breathe and release. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you punch in the bag, it's kind of
Yeah.
like you punching somebody. You know what I'm saying? So. And then, what I'm saying, sometimes depending on how my trainer can be, who, he's tough, you know what I'm saying? He fights, I mean, he fights professionally, and he knows 5 different fighting styles. So if you come in there, he's training you as if you fight. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. You never get used to his workouts, but it pushes you. And I needed a push. I needed a push for my life. I needed a push, you know what I'm saying, for my self-worth. So like I said, it's not just a physical thing. If you are working out just as a physical thing, then you're gonna always quit. You're gonna just be like, I'm gonna take a break. When you're sitting up here and you're using this for a physical, mental, and also emotional way of healing, then it allows you to be consistent with it. It has to be an everyday thing, just as if it was praying, just as if it was, saying affirmations, meditating, doing your yoga, running a mile every day. You know what I'm saying? Reading a book to keep your mind active. it'll keep you consistent.
Right.
And especially if you start seeing not only physically, but when you start seeing that, hey, I'm not overthinking as much, or I'm not over exaggerating or overacting as much, or my responses are not so aggressive, or my responses or how I react are not just brushing off people and just putting people on a silent treatment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It does give you some peace. It does give you a release. And I would advise anybody to get, to get into something physical, whether it's basketball, whether it's running, whether it's bowling, just anything to keep you active. I mean, they even have it now in cities where they have like smash mental rooms, where you go in, you could break dishes, you can
What?
grab axes, yes, and throw them in the walls and things like that. I've recently found one in Southfield, Michigan here, which is about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes away, like kind of close to Detroit.
Yeah.
And I was checking it out, and it's actually Black owned, and I was actually going to go ahead and check them out. But we need stuff like that.
Yeah.
We need stuff like that, because
Yeah.
it's not a lot. Everyone doesn't have an outlet. Everyone doesn't have anyone to talk to, or everyone doesn't trust everyone to talk to somebody. So that's another story too.